Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Yikes. Oh, 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 beautiful. And we were about to get Annex as well, too. Hey, Menacing MTG here. Got a Dimir deck for you, and it also has Tergrid, as I put out several decks, and there's just so much you can do with this card. But I had this great idea of incorporating Blink into a deck with Tergrid. Hey, why not? It's such a good fit. I'm just going to run through this deck really quick. So the big cards here are you have a combination of having Thassa on the board, which at the end of the turn you can blink a card off the board and back on. So the cards you want to be blinking back and forth are Acquisitions Expert or Elder Fang. So these guys you can blink off and continue to remove cards from your opponent's hands, forcing them to discard. Of course, if you have Turgor on the board, that's incredibly sweet. Then the other thing you can blink is Cloudkin Seer, which draws you a card every time you do that. And yeah, those are pretty much your blinkers. I mean, you can also blink off some other stuff like Quarter Monitor. Like, for example, if you had the Lantern on the board and you had Quarter Monitor and Thassa on the board, then you can, at the beginning of your turn, tap the Lantern. And if you have mana, you can untap it and tap it again. And then at the end of your turn, Thassa exiles Monitor, brings it back on. It untaps the Lantern. And you can just do an additional untap of the Lantern with that three-way combination of Quarter Monitor, Thassa, and Tergrid's Lantern. So outrageous there. But if you have Tergrid on the board and you're blinking Acquisitions Expert on and off, then every time they discard something, you possess it. So we have a few other things that do work really well with Tergrid, but also work really well with the whole philosophy of getting, a Cloudkin on the board, maybe a Quarter Monitor on the board, maybe an Acquisitions Expert on the board, which you'll see happen exactly in one of the games that I'm posting. And I never did get a Tergrid, but we totally were able to control the opponent, empty their hand, and just kind of keep them at bay. And we have some really good spot removal for that purpose, specifically 2 Bloodchief's Thirst and 3 Soul Shatter. We also have, and of course, Soul Shatter works great with Tergrid because you're forcing sacrifice, and that works with Planeswalkers too. Um, and But there's 5 removal. Then we have Poison the Cup, which doesn't work with Tergrid, but it's just a great card that you can foretell and then bring in for a 2-drop. Even if you don't have 2 black mana at the time, you can foretell it for a black and a blue mana, or black and black, and then you can bring it for another um, black and whatever mana. So Poison the Cup, just a great card, and if you do foretell it, you get to scry too, which is always great. Okay, so one other thing that works great, well, actually, a few other things that work great with Tergrid here are that we have Wither Crown. So you can enchant a creature, and if it's not something that gets counters, or its life changes for various reasons, life total, not life, it's power changes, then this returns a creature that an opponent controls to power 0. And in addition to that, every turn that Wither Crown's on the board, that opponent loses a life. So, and if they don't want to lose a life, then they have to sacrifice the creature. And guess what? If Tergrid's on the board, you get it. So 2 of those. But additionally, we have 3 Demon's Disciple. And this is because, once we get more than 1 Acquisitions Expert or more than 1 Quarter Monitor on the board, and the opponent has creatures on the board, you can throw this Demon's Disciple on the board, and you have to sack a creature, but they have to sack a creature or a planeswalker. And so you can get rid of that lightweight stuff that has limited value, even if you have more than one Cloudkin. So we have a lot of those type of cards. Or you can just sack the demon itself. Um, Again, they are sacrificing. So whatever they sacrifice, if you have Tergrid on the board, and we have 4 in this deck, um, you get. Additionally, we have 1 Mind Drain thrown in here just for extra oomph here. A 3-drop. Target opponent discards 2 cards, mills a card, loses a life, you gain a life. So that's cool. In addition, of course, Skull Raid. Now, Skull Raid, probably when you use this card, it's going to be to draw you cards because you're going to be leeching the cards out of your opponent's hands. But it, works both ways. And this is a great flexible card in that target opponent discards 2 cards. If fewer than 2 cards were discarded, the reason that would happen is if they have less than 2 cards in their hand. You draw cards equal to the difference. You can also foretell this card, so you can kind of have some more flexibility about what you bring on the board when. So yeah, excellent. I think we've touched on every single thing. Oh, one more thing in here, Brazen Borrower, kind of a nice little addition where something you cannot get off the board for some reason, you can go in and in instant speed return a permanent, so it doesn't not restricted to creatures or planeswalkers, any permanent, non-land permanent, you can return to owner's hand. Then you can flash the flyer in 3/1. So yeah, nice to have a couple of those in there. I just think this is a well-balanced deck. A real simple land base here, 10 islands, 2 Castle Locthwain, 8 snow swamps, 2 Clearwater Pathways, and 2 Fabled Passage. Yeah, so a grand total of 24 lands in here. Maybe more than you need, but you want to be able to get Tergrid on in a reasonably timely manner. And yeah, having a ton of fun with this deck. So give it a spin if you got the cards. Not a ton of wildly expensive cards. Of course, you have rare. You got rare. You got mythic rare here, but you probably have a few if you've been playing on Arena for a while. You don't have to have 3 per se, but it is good to have 3. I think 3 is a good number because Blink is very important in this deck, and as you'll see in some of the games, that even without Thassa, you can really do a lot of damaging work with the cards, the simple lightweight cards that I have in this deck. So yeah, then of course Brazen Borrower. You don't need Brazen Borrower in here. You could use something else in this spot, and this is mythic. So then we have the Soul Shatters are rare. And I think that might be it, folks, for anything rare. Yeah, everything else is pretty straight up. Of course, the Fabled Passage is rare and the Pathway is rare, but you don't need those either. You could put in the new dual Snowlands. They're slower, but oftentimes Fabled is slow. And yeah, and then of course the Castle Locthwain's in here for a little extra card draw. So yeah, give it a spin. I love this deck. Hey, please consider subscribing. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great weekend. And yeah, check out some of my other videos. If you look at the Tergrid, I can give you a little basic Tergrid advice if you're not tuned into it. The cards that travel with Tergrid are Skull Raid, are Soul Shatter, and Acquisitions Expert. Those are your kind of core base right there. With Tergrid, getting the opponent to discard cards and sacrifice cards. There are other things that do that. These are excellent additions with the Tergrid deck and pretty attainable cards. Wither Crown, some creature cards it doesn't work well because the life is changeable or it's a counter deck or something like that. But it is a good card. But yeah, those are your key core cards there: Soul Shatter, Acquisitions Expert, and Skull Raid. And then with Thassa, Quarter Monitor, Cloudkin Seer, and Acquisitions Expert are your key blinkers. So there you have it. You could also blink this guy, if you're sacking something else, and cause them to sack another creature again. You'd do that if you had Tergrid on. So yeah. Again, have a great day. Take care. Okay, a very good hand here. We'll be looking for Thassa and Tergrid, but this is very good. Acquisitions expert first. Okay, perfect, perfect. Cloudkin next. And we still have a Wither Crown and an acquisitions expert, so that's good. Okay, Hollow Priest. Gonna see Luminarch probably. Okay, they come in with Slow Land. That's great news. Slow Snow. Okay. All right, and we're really, it's going very well here. Cloudkin. Ooh, Soul Shatter. Perfect. We just need Tergrid and Thassa. If we get those two cards, it's absolute chaos here. Okay. Let's see here. I guess we bring in another acquisitions expert. Now, this is, of course, always scary when you've got Sun Crowned. Okay, yeah. Goodbye to Veto. Probably have another one in hand. Okay, Lantern. All right. I think we'll discard a card here. Give up Fabled Passage. Okay, there's Thassa, and now they have a big problem. Okay, really running them dry here. We can give up one of the acquisitions experts. Okay, Sanctum, that's fine. No problem at all there. We're hoping that they don't get another Sanctum, though. Okay, nice. And we're going to give up Wither Crown. We don't want to give up either of these creatures if at all possible. They're empty-handed. We'll use Thassa to blink Cloudkin. They're going to be able to run Tergrid multiple times next turn, if nothing else. Okay, we're all set here for future items. We've got really a perfect setup. And we may give up the monitor, and we may have to give up two things, but we're going to draw a card. Okay. Okay. We do not want to give up Soul Shatter here. Oh, the speakers of low consequence. They'll be able to run this twice. Okay, that's just great. So we're very stacked up here. We can take the speaker out next turn. Okay, he gets +1/+1 counter. He'll be able to run out again, and we'll lose some life here. And we'll kill the speaker next turn. And now we're going to force them to, well, no, we can't. If we had Farika, we could. Okay, puts us in excellent shape here. Another quarter monitor. We'll stay put. We can ditch these quarter monitors. We'll say goodbye to the speaker. We have won this game, and this is exactly what this deck is supposed to do. We didn't even get a Tergrid, so pretty impressive here. Okay, good looking hand here. Really all we need, except for some mana. We can make everything happen with this hand. Okay, great. And we go first to boot. Looks like turn 2 acquisitions expert. Then we'll hustle to Thassa. I need one more land for that, but that shouldn't be too big of a problem. Okay, could be some very fast moving burn. There's the land we need, so let's get something out of their hand. We can bring on quarter monitor as well as a blocker. And quarter could be sweet with the lantern, of course. So yeah, these are the two items we want to blink right here. We got to work fast though, as this deck will probably have some buffing and probably an Ember Cleave. Okay, that's good news right there. I'm going to stay put. Next turn, Thassa. We're hoping not to lose the acquisitions expert, because right now that's what we want to be blinking. Okay, that's great, great, great. Okay, we have to do Thassa right now. What we'll do is be able to remove a card. We've got the mana for Tergrid, so yeah, no attacks. Yeah, and this is bad news for them. Although I don't feel overly confident here. And there goes Embercleave, so they must have one more in hand. Now we do have the option of running Skull Raid now. Oh crap, that's too bad. Okay. That depletes them for this turn though, that's good. They do come in and they might have some bump, but we're going to try to get rid of the champion here. That'd be great. Yeah, that's going to slow down their progress toward... Okay, let's see what's best to do. We're going to go Tergrid right here. And yeah, we'll attack. Okay, great. Skull Raid up next. Okay, Bone Crusher. Probably no attacks. They're tapped. That's great. Okay, so this is outstanding here. I think we got to go blue here. So just going to run it. Hope that we get something we can use. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Yikes. Oh, beautiful. And we were about to get Annex as well, too. Okay. Sorry I joined this a little late, but good looking game here. Got some nice 2-drops. Be looking for Thassa. We're getting nothing but land here. We have 6 land out of 9 cards drawn. I have been talking to a few folks that I know that play Arena, and it seems like everybody's complaining about the land algorithm at this point. If we could just get Thassa right here, we could go Thassa then Tergrid, we'd really be ripping it up. They're about to load up on cards here. Okay. I think we'll just empty their hand right out here. Oh, that definitely hurt. Tergrid next turn. Okay, land, that's perfect. Okay, excellent news there. Bring up Tergrid. I just hope they don't get a banishing light here. Okay, this is more than perfect here. We'll toss this on just so they're going to be losing life all the while. Drop the lantern. Yikes, that's gotta hurt. That's unfortunate. We can still do an enormous amount of damage here. We've got tons of land. We're going to hold on to this. Run this twice. Race to avoid banishing lights here. We're doing really big damage though. Okay. They can go ahead and have that. Oh yeah, come on in. No life gain there. Okay, well, they're going to give up right here. And that's the game. We can kill them right here.